Hello, my name is Dakota, and my video presentation is on Ebola virus, specifically how circulatory system inflammation results in hemorrhaging associated with the Ebola virus disease. Ebola virus disease is a severe, often fatal illness caused by the Ebola virus, similarly to how AIDS can be a deadly manifestation of the HIV virus. One of the most alarming clinical manifestations of advanced EVD is hemorrhaging or bleeding, which arises as a downstream consequence of widespread systematic inflammation, and vascular dysregulation. Upon entry into the host, typically via the mucous membranes or broken skin, Ebola virus targets and replicates within various immune cells, particularly monocytes, macrophages, and dendritic cells. These infected cells disseminate the virus throughout the body, spreading it to the lymph nodes, the liver, spleen, and ultimately the vascular endothelium, which is a thin layer of cells that line the inner surface of blood vessels. Since monocytes, macrophages, and dendritic cells have strong links with the adaptive immune system, both the innate and adaptive immune systems become weakened. The targeting of the body's dendritic cells disables their alarm systems, thus making it impossible for the immune system to create antibodies. So, unfettered virus reproduction results in so much cell death that there's necrosis of various cell tissues or uh, tissues in the body. This leads to a critical event in the Ebola infection called the cytokine storm, which is a hyperactive and dysregulated immune system response triggered by infected immune cells. The storm of approximately 150 cytokines comes often too late to be of any benefit, yet is so impactful that it leads to mortality rates of upwards of 90% for the Zaire Ebola virus. Pro-inflammatory cytokines such as the TNF alpha, IL-6, and the IL-1 beta are massively upregulated. An inflammatory response ensues in the body, damaging the endothelial cells lining the blood vessels and compromising the integrity of the vascular barrier. The cytokine storm releases nitric oxide, which further thins out the blood and damages blood vessels. Simultaneously, Ebolavirus directly infects endothelial cells and hepatocytes. Endothelial infection leads to increased vascular permeability, while hepatocyte infection impairs clotting synthesis, contributing to excessive bleeding. In addition, platelets are destroyed and disseminated intravascular coagulation, or DIC, can ensue, which is a condition where small blood clots form throughout the body, potentially blocking blood vessels and damaging organs. So, all of this results in widespread vascular leakage, hypovolemia, which is a reduced circulation of blood, and multiple system organ failure. Not good. Hemorrhaging signs include petechia, ecchymosis, gastrointestinal bleeding, and bleeding from mucous membranes or venipuncture sites. In summary, the hemorrhaging observed in Ebola virus disease is not only a direct result of viral lysing of human cells, but rather the cumulative effect of massive immune activation, endothelial dysfunction, and coagulation disruption, all of which are rooted in unchecked inflammatory response throughout the circulatory system. Ultimately, the full-blown cytokine storm is an indirect consequence of Ebola virus disease that causes it to become so devastatingly hemorrhagic and deadly. Although the cytokine storm, which acts as an SOS signal from the body to produce a systematic inflammation and last-ditch effort to fight off the virus, comes too late to counteract the virus, and instead it essentially causes death from lack of blood pressure and numerous small leaks of blood vessels. Lastly, although it's a very scary disease that has had devastating recent outbreaks, especially in Africa. Fortunately, there are vaccines available. One that I researched is an attenuated vaccine called the Arrivo vaccine, which doesn't work for every strain of Ebola virus, but it is highly effective against Zaire Ebola virus, which is one of the most deadly, and it's stockpiled by several NGOs and is ready to be deployed in the wake of the next outbreak. That's it. Thank you.